The NBA has just unleashed a jaw-dropping lifetime ban on the Portland Trail Blazers after federal agents exposed what appears to be a massive multi-million-dollar gambling ring directly connected to the franchise. And now the FBI has officially stepped in, turning this into one of the darkest scandals in league history.
FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing.
But what investigators uncovered inside the team's own facility changed everything, leading to a shocking FBI takedown that no one in the league saw coming.
Now to a major shakeup in the world of sports. So earlier today, the FBI announced charges against Portland Trail Blazers coach Chauncey Billups and Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier in connection to separate but related gambling charges. Also charged today, former Cleveland Cavalier guard Damon Jones.
On that fateful Thursday morning, the FBI launched a massive multi-state operation across 11 states, arresting 34 individuals in what officials are calling one of the most sophisticated illegal gambling networks in American sports history. But what truly sent shockwaves through the league were the names on that list: Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, and former NBA player and assistant coach Damon Jones. Yet here's where the story takes a dark, unexpected turn. This wasn't just about insider bets or a few shady connections. Investigators uncovered a deep criminal web tied to four of New York's most feared mafia families: the Bonanno, Gambino, Lucchese, and Genovese clans. Yes, you heard that right. The actual mafia was allegedly manipulating NBA games and running rigged poker operations that siphoned off millions of dollars from unsuspecting victims.
Heard from FBI Director Kash Patel during a news conference about this investigation. Here's what he was able to tell us.
This is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of...
FBI Director Kash Patel himself took the stage in New York City, calling this a historic nationwide takedown that exposed a criminal network entangling both the NBA and La Cosa Nostra. And when the director of the FBI personally shows up to announce arrests, you know this isn't just serious, it's catastrophic. This isn't local cops chasing small-time hustlers. This is federal crime at the highest level. The investigation revealed two massive but interconnected criminal operations. The first, a mafia-backed poker scam using high-tech cheating systems to rob wealthy players of over $7 million since 2019. We're talking X-ray poker tables, rigged shuffle machines, marked cards only visible through special contact lenses, and electronic chip trays that tracked every move in real time. This wasn't your grandfather's poker night. This was Ocean's 11 meets The Godfather, except it was terrifyingly real. The second, an insider betting conspiracy that manipulated at least 7 NBA games between March 2023 and March 2024, cashing in on hundreds of thousands of dollars through prop bets based on non-public intel. Players and coaches allegedly leaked injury updates, rest schedules, and early exits, information that turned gambling into guaranteed profit. At exactly 6 a.m. Pacific time that Thursday morning, FBI agents stormed Chauncey Billups' Portland home. Just hours before, he had been coaching on the sidelines. One moment, you're leading NBA stars. The next, you're face-to-face with federal agents in handcuffs. Across the country in Orlando, Florida, Terry Rozier was taken into custody inside his hotel room, the same one the Miami Heat stayed in after their game the night before. Imagine that. You wake up thinking about film sessions and morning practice, and instead, you're staring at FBI agents reading you your rights. Now let's talk about Chauncey Billups, because this isn't just any coach. A 5-time NBA All-Star, 2004 Finals MVP, and Hall of Fame inductee in 2024, Billups is Mr. Big Shot himself, the man who led the Detroit Pistons to glory with his ice-cold clutch performances. And now, that same legend faces federal charges that could lock him away for up to 40 years. Meanwhile, Terry Rozier, known to fans as Scary Terry, has earned over $160 million in his career and was on a $26.6 million contract with the Miami Heat. But the question haunting fans everywhere: why would someone with that kind of money risk everything for dirty gambling profits?
Takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Cosa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese crime family.
The involvement of organized crime families takes this scandal to a level far beyond any ordinary sports betting story. These weren't outsiders profiting quietly from the sidelines. These four mafia empires were the architects. They planned, protected, and profited from every illegal move. Armed men stood guard at underground poker games. Violence, threats, and extortion became the standard tools of business. Victims who refused to pay gambling debts, some topping $300,000, were met with pistol whippings, arson attacks, and brutal kneecap threats. This wasn't a card game gone wrong. This was organized crime at its peak, using NBA stars as bait to lure in the rich and unsuspecting. The NBA's reaction was immediate and ruthless. Within hours of the arrests, the league placed both Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier on indefinite paid leave, stating, "We take these allegations with the utmost seriousness. The integrity of our game remains our top priority." The Portland Trail Blazers instantly promoted assistant coach Tiago Splitter to interim head coach, while the Miami Heat benched Rozier before the news even went public. Both franchises now find themselves fighting off massive public backlash and federal heat, their reputations hanging by a thread. But here's what's truly terrifying: this isn't the NBA's first gambling nightmare. Just 18 months ago, Jonte Porter of the Toronto Raptors was hit with a lifetime ban in April 2024 for his role in a similar prop betting manipulation scheme. Porter pleaded guilty to wire fraud conspiracy that July. And here's the chilling part. Some of the same individuals caught in this new FBI sting were allegedly the ones who pressured Porter to keep fixing games. That case set a brutal precedent. When the NBA proves a player manipulated games, there's no negotiation, no comeback, no appeal. Under Article 35 of the NBA Constitution, anyone proven to have compromised the integrity of the game faces immediate dismissal and permanent disqualification, a punishment that's final and untouchable.
Hundreds of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. It's not even millions of dollars. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and theft and robbery across a multi-year investigation.
When FBI Director Kash Patel laid out the staggering details, he didn't just talk about millions, he made it clear this was tens of millions of dollars in corruption. That's when the true scale hit everyone. This wasn't a small-time hustle. This was industrial-level fraud, a criminal machine that infiltrated the biggest basketball league on earth. And the timing? Absolutely chilling. The arrests came just 2 days into the NBA's 2025-26 season, right as the league was celebrating opening night with star-studded matchups and record TV ratings. While the world was focused on highlight reels and comeback stories, federal agents were finalizing one of the biggest takedowns in sports history. What makes it even more haunting is that Commissioner Adam Silver had just appeared on the Pat McAfee show, casually expressing his growing concern about prop betting and game manipulation. But what he didn't say, what the world didn't know, was that the FBI was already watching, preparing to drop a bombshell that would shake the NBA to its core.
You feel free to weigh in now, Shaq. You've heard from Shams. You saw the FBI director speaking about this. What do you think?
I know everybody that's at play, and I don't like to sit up here and be hypocritical about certain things. I homeboy gamble, Arnie. Bet it. We've been on teams. We played cards. We played spades. We played tonk. But with that being said, every year they would give us forums on what and what not to do. One of those things where if somebody asks you if a certain player is playing, you say no. So all these guys knew what was at stake, and I'm just ashamed that they put themselves and put their family and put the NBA in this position.
Now let's break down the first of these two criminal empires, the mafia-backed rigged poker operation, a story that feels ripped straight out of a Martin Scorsese crime film. But this wasn't fiction. This was a multi-year criminal network built on cutting-edge technology, high-stakes manipulation, and the illusion of exclusivity. These weren't smoky basement card games. These were luxury poker sessions held in Manhattan penthouses, Hamptons mansions, Vegas casinos, and private Miami clubs, secret gatherings for the ultra-wealthy. The buy-ins ranged from $10,000 to $100,000, instantly revealing the kind of players they were targeting: CEOs, hedge fund managers, tech millionaires, and high-rolling investors. And at the center of it all stood Chauncey Billups, described by prosecutors as the operation's face card, the celebrity lure. His presence added glamour, legitimacy, and danger. Think about it: if you're a powerful executive or millionaire investor, the chance to sit across from an NBA Hall of Famer whose championship moments you watched on TV, it doesn't just sound like poker, it sounds like privilege. That's exactly how they trapped their victims. Federal indictments reveal that Billups received major kickbacks for lending his name and face to these games. including one documented $50,000 payment after a single session in 2019. He allegedly pocketed 5 to 10% of the house's total take each night, earning tens of thousands per game. But the most chilling part isn't who was playing, it's how they were cheated. The operation used modified Deckmate 2 shuffling machines, stolen during a 2022 armed robbery in the Bronx. These weren't random thefts. Investigators believe the machines were specifically targeted because they could be hacked and rigged, allowing the house to see every card in play before it hit the table. This wasn't just gambling, it was organized deception on an industrial scale, hidden behind luxury, fame, and the illusion of
We
trust.
just did a special on YouTube, and where a shuffle machine was hacked. What happens is the Deckmate 2 has a camera in it. And what that camera does, it notifies the casino or the dealer or the house if a card is missing. Also, if you took a deck of cards and put it to that machine, the cameras know every card and can actually sort that deck out and put it back in order for you for the next day or the next play. Well, the cheaters came up with ways of utilizing that camera as well to know what cards are being dealt and who's getting them.
Once the Deckmate shufflers were modified, they became weapons of precision fraud. Each device was fitted with RFID chips and hidden Bluetooth transmitters capable of scanning entire decks and sending that data in real time to spotters positioned off-site. These spotters then relayed the information to insiders at the table, players the FBI calls the quarterbacks. The communication system was brilliantly subtle and terrifyingly effective. Quarterbacks would use chip taps, one for hearts, two for diamonds, along with slight ear pulls or foot nudges under the table to signal their partners about opponents' hole cards and upcoming river cards. With this system, their win rates skyrocketed to an unbelievable 80 to 90%, something statistically impossible in legitimate poker. But it didn't stop there. The operation went even further, using X-ray embedded poker tables that could literally see through face-down cards. Hidden microcameras built into the felt sent live images upward, revealing every secret hand in play. What looked like a normal poker table was actually a high-tech surveillance device, quietly feeding players the answers before the cards were even dealt.
I can explain all of it. The X-ray table. That's just a table that has cameras built into it that look upward at the cards. It can actually see through the green felt, so you can use any of cards. As long as the cards lie above the camera can see what that card is and then
Investigators say the scheme went far beyond hidden signals and rigged tables. It became a full-blown technological operation. Electronic chip trays were equipped with microcameras that could read community cards and analyze betting patterns in real time. Some players even wore custom-made contact lenses, synced to infrared-marked decks, invisible to the naked eye, but crystal clear to those wearing them. Prosecutors alleged that Chauncey Billups used those very lenses during at least 3 high-stakes sessions between 2021 and 2022. They claim that's how he made impossible folds and flawless bluffs, one of which cost a Silicon Valley investor a staggering $250,000 in a single hand. Wiretap recordings later caught Billups joking about easy money, moments before splitting proceeds through Venmo transfers routed to fake shell accounts. Text messages recovered from his phone reveal coordination with other defendants, recruiting what they called whales, gambling slang for wealthy, overconfident victims. Billups promised to bring star power to attract these targets. But what turned this from a poker scandal into a national security level case was the mafia's involvement. Of the 32 people charged in the poker indictment, 11 were confirmed members or associates of 4 infamous New York crime families, the Bonanno, Gambino, Lucchese, and Genovese families. The mob didn't just watch, they sanctioned the games. They offered protection in exchange for a 20 to 30% cut of all profits. And when someone refused to pay, they enforced payment the old-fashioned way. Court documents describe violent retribution. In June 2022, a player known as Flapper, a mob enforcer, allegedly pistol-whipped a man who refused to pay a $300,000 debt. In another chilling case from 2021, a Miami debtor's yacht was set on fire, a brutal message that unpaid debts wouldn't be tolerated. The financial operation behind all this was just as sophisticated. Millions in poker profits were funneled through crypto exchanges. Bitcoin was converted into privacy coins like Monero using proxy accounts on Binance, then washed again through fake consulting firms and shell corporations, creating a maze that even forensic accountants struggled to untangle. When Billups was finally arrested, he was released on a $100,000 bond under strict conditions, an ankle monitor, weekly probation check-ins, no gambling of any kind, and zero contact with co-defendants outside of legal counsel. His next court appearance is scheduled for November 14, 2025, in Brooklyn Federal Court. His lawyer, Christopher Haywood, released a defiant statement. Chauncey Billups is a man of integrity. To believe he'd throw away his legacy, reputation, and freedom over a card game is absurd. He's never backed down, and he won't now. But prosecutors say the evidence is overwhelming. Fingerprints on shuffling machines, text messages, wire transfers, Venmo records, and wiretap audio where Billups himself allegedly acknowledges the scam. The charges he faces are devastating. Conspiracy to commit wire fraud, up to 20 years. Conspiracy to launder money, another 20. Realistically, even with a plea deal, prosecutors expect a sentence of 5 to 7 years, plus millions in restitution to defrauded victims. For Billups, it's a catastrophic fall from grace. A man who'd achieved everything: championship rings, all-star selections, and NBA Finals MVP, a Hall of Fame induction. He transitioned seamlessly from player to head coach, earning $6 million a year and universal respect. Now all of that stands in ruins. But as shocking as that is, the poker scheme was only the beginning. Because federal agents say they uncovered something far darker: an insider betting network that reached deep into the heart of the NBA itself. This is where the scandal stops being about money and starts being about the very integrity of the game. The second indictment targets 6 individuals accused of exploiting non-public NBA information, a conspiracy that generated over $500,000 in illegal profits. The method was simple but devastating. If you knew ahead of time that a player would underperform, sit out, or leave early, you could bet huge on their statistical unders and win almost every time. In a world where prop bets now make up nearly 40% of all NBA wagers, that kind of knowledge was gold. And the centerpiece of it all? Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier. On March 23, 2023, the Charlotte Hornets faced the New Orleans Pelicans. Rozier wasn't listed on any injury report. He was expected to play his usual minutes. But according to FBI transcripts, Rozier texted his childhood friend, Dairo Lester, a cryptic message just hours before tip-off. "Gonna bow out early. Q1. Head check. No return." Prosecutors say Lester sold that message for $100,000 to another middleman, who then spread it through a shadow betting network. Within hours, over $200,000 in wagers flooded major sportsbooks, FanDuel, DraftKings, and several offshore sites, all targeting Rozier's unders. Under 15.5 points. Under 4.5 assists. Under 3.5 rebounds. Under 2.5 three-pointers. And what happened next was almost too precise to be coincidence. Rozier played exactly 9 minutes and 34 seconds before leaving the game with a supposed head injury after contact with teammate LaMelo Ball. His final stat line? 5 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 0 threes, every single under hit. The network walked away with $180,000 in profit from that one game.
At the core of Rozier's arrest is a March 2023 game that saw an uptick of Rozier bets come in on the under. Rozier left the game just 9 minutes in, citing a foot injury. Rozier had previously not been accused of any wrong.
Hours before tip-off, sportsbooks began flagging unusual movement on Terry Rozier's prop lines. His under bets, points, assists, rebounds, all shifted dramatically from plus 120 to plus 150, a swing that only happens when massive sums are suddenly placed on one outcome. These kinds of patterns are red flags, the kind that scream insider information. Sportsbooks immediately reported the anomaly, and within hours the NBA had opened an internal investigation. By March 2023, the league cleared Rozier of any wrongdoing. Then, in January 2024, they issued an official statement. "After review, we found no evidence of rules violations." But what no one knew was that while the NBA was closing its case, the FBI was just getting started. Behind the scenes, federal agents were running a parallel investigation, one with tools far beyond what the league could ever access. Wiretaps, bank subpoenas, crypto tracing, surveillance footage, cooperating witnesses, and then came the smoking gun. On April 1, 2023, 2:17 in the morning, surveillance footage captured Rozier's friend and alleged broker, Dairo Lester, pulling up to Rozier's $1.2 million Charlotte home. The two men were seen in the garage, counting stacks of cash. According to investigators, it was approximately $45,000, Rozier's alleged cut of the profits. Hours later, Those funds were traced through a series of Cash App transfers and shell accounts designed to obscure the trail. Rozier's attorney, Jim Trusty, didn't hold back. He called the FBI's dawn raid a photo op perp walk, claiming agents were taking the word of spectacularly unreliable sources instead of hard evidence. His statement ended with a line that now echoes through every sports headline. Terry is not a gambler, but he's not afraid of a fight. And he looks forward to winning this one. But the investigation didn't end there, because Shanta Billups' name appeared again, this time in the second indictment. Federal filings reference an uncharged co-conspirator 8, described only as a resident of Oregon, a former NBA player active from 1997 to 2014, currently serving as an NBA head coach since at least 2021. That description matches Chauncey Billups exactly. According to investigators, on March 24, 2023, just one day after the Rozier game, this unidentified co-conspirator sent a message to Eric Ernest, a defendant charged in both the poker and betting schemes. The text read, "Trail Blazers tanking tonight. Starters sitting. Big night for Bulls." It included specific names: Damian Lillard, Jusuf Nurkic, Jeremy Grant, and Anthony Simons, all expected to miss the game with various injuries. The problem? None of that information was public yet. Armed with that tip, betting networks immediately placed over $100,000 on the Chicago Bulls to win.